Feeling good. The coffee's hitting just right. Hey everybody, today is Friday, August 12th, 2022. As usual, it's me, Jake, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. We got a hell of a week for you, a lot of cool stuff. So let's just jump in with the first headline. You probably remember last week or so, we talked about a Brazilian court and hearings around antitrust stuff regarding the big companies in gaming making acquisitions, with Sony talking about how hard it would be to compete, to make something new, to really compete against Call of Duty. Well, this week from the Brazilian courts and the similar type hearings, we have some more interesting sound bites from Xbox specifically talking about how their representatives, their Microsoft representatives, were straight up like, we would actually lose money. It wouldn't be profitable to make Call of Duty an exclusive to Xbox. So they've reiterated that they are keeping it on PlayStation specifically because it wouldn't make financial sense, which is interesting to hear it from the horse's mouth. Along with that, they did actually go after Sony a little bit here. You know, in talking about how exclusivity works in the game industry, Xbox's representatives did talk about how Sony pays developers blocking fees, quote unquote, to keep developers from putting their games on competing platforms and streaming services. This has actually been detailed in the past. People did catch wind of some of this in the Epic versus Apple court filings. There's a lot of anti-compete stuff out there and fees being paid, but to hear it acknowledged specifically and directly from Xbox representatives definitely, I guess, fuels the console war flames for some people. That's why a lot of people like talking about this stuff, but like I said last time we talked about these stories, is also just interesting to hear these companies actually be a bit more candid because they have to. They're speaking to legalities, legal bodies, you know? So like last time, I think ultimately the lesson for me, it's not like, haha, Xbox owned or Sony owned this. Like, it doesn't matter. What it is that, like, yes, these companies are aware. They are aware of everything going on in the industry around them. It's just whether or not they act on certain things and where their hands are tied that just makes it a little bit more interesting. Does that make sense? I don't know. Whether you want to use it to fuel the console war flames or just have some interesting reading, I will link it in the description down below with all the other stories that we talk about. But in other news, there's some rumblings about Deus Ex. It's actually pretty interesting. So if you don't remember, Eidos, the people who make the Deus Ex games, were part of the purchasing agreement where Square Enix sold off some properties to Embracer Group, and Embracer Group very much likes to seemingly flex some of their IPs now, and it seems like, according to video game insider Jeff Grubb, who gets some scoops right, they are very keen on putting the Deus Ex property to work pretty soon, specifically because, and quoting him, they want to do what Cyberpunk 2077 could not. This is very interesting because Deus Ex, those games have very much taken some inspiration from some of the ideas behind the overall cyberpunk genre, and it's interesting that they are possibly looking at an opening. What does this mean, though? Does this mean that, like, they're ditching Adam Jensen and doing, like, a new spiritual reboot of the series? I can see that. It makes sense at this point. It's been long enough, but I just hope they don't just go for making like a Deus Ex like open world dumb game. I think they need to embrace like what that series initially was with the original PC game, because it was incredibly special, and we have less and less games like that. Even Dishonored developers, Arcane, are making less games of that style. So I'm curious to see what comes of this. Jeff Grubb did reiterate it is the very early stages, it's just talks, but whether they do make a cyberpunk open world competitor type of thing or just something, I'm just happy that there's even rumblings that Deus Ex is going to live on and not just rot away in a bin somewhere. Oh shit, wake up, babe. New horror game just leaked. Let's go. So according to this leak, we got leaked box art from a storefront and some screenshots. We're getting a new Alone in the Dark game. Yeah, I didn't think I would say that, didn't expect that, but the details are pretty interesting. So we have some screenshots here, and for me, as a person who likes some horror stuff, I love seeing a goofy man fight spooky skeletons in a haunted mansion and gross dark streets at night. Awesome. So what this really is kind of like a Resident Evil 2 remake for the original Alone in the Dark. You play as apparently two main characters, a male and a female, with different campaigns. You're going to explore Louisiana and seemingly a haunted mansion implied by the goofy old school style box art that I love. And according to these leaks, what I've seen, like, those characters actually have the names of the classic characters. Now, at the time of making this video, this is a leak, but this game might actually be officially revealed soon, so we will update the link if that is the case. But as of right now, new spiritual successor to the original Alone in the Dark is something that is cool. I don't know if it's going to be the most big budget AAA crazy awesome thing, but just like a weird quirky horror experience that embraces some of the goofiness of the old game, but still has that scariness. Could be pretty cool. I'm cautiously optimistic. I definitely want to see more, but let me know what you guys think. Did you play the last Alone in the Dark game? I did. What a mess. But anyway, let some horror brands live on, man. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Hey, next up, this episode is brought to you by our longtime sponsor, Raycon. These are the go-to wireless earbuds that have quality sound and performance, but come in at about half the price compared to other premium wireless audio brands. And if you don't know, they offer 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life thanks to the handy-dandy charging carrying case. It slips right in your pocket. It's good to go. It's sleek. And they come with a bunch of optimized gel tips to get the right fit, the perfect fit, so that they don't fall out. And they're really comfortable if you wear them for long periods of time, which is good for me because I wear them on work calls a lot, like Zoom calls and stuff. They sound great, I can hear everyone, but they're super sleek. They're not obnoxious big cans. You know what I mean? They're easy to set up, they pair right up with Bluetooth, and they last. They're durable. They have smart compatibility, different sound profiles, and they come in a variety of different colors, so you have a lot of options. There's a reason they have over 50,000 5-star reviews online, so if you want to check them out, you can click the link in the description down below, or go to buyraycon.com/gameranks for 15% off your purchase. Next up, just some cool things we linked in the description below. The first thing is just something cool that somebody made by the modder Syclonix. This is a Skyrim mod that kind of changes the way death works and adds the Nemesis system, or a sort of Nemesis system, the best you can have in this. And the Nemesis system, if you don't remember, is the incredible gameplay system behind the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor games that kind of generated cool enemies and rivalries for you. More games need this type of thing. I wish more games had a Nemesis system. And shout out to modders and technically capable and talented people for also realizing that and putting something cool into Skyrim. We got to applaud shit like that, man. Also, some trailers and stuff linked down below. The first is the launch trailer for Cult of the Lamb. I have been going on podcasts. My podcast, FPS, Friends Per Second. I also went on the Kinda Funny PlayStation podcast, and everybody is telling me I gotta play this game. It sounds awesome. I've had it explained to me a million times. I'm looking forward to finding time to play it. Don't let it fall under your radar. Check out some reviews. It seems pretty interesting. Along with that, as of right now, if you're watching this on Friday, Spider-Man has dropped on PC. Seems like a cool port. We are going to be checking it out. I'm actually downloading it right now so we can give you guys a quick first impressions video for before you buy. So keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, Spider-Man, one of my favorite games. I'm going to play that shit on Steam Deck. Yes. Also, Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct specifically around Splatoon 3. If you want more details on that, they've added some cool elements, some casual elements, and it's definitely more Splatoon, which I don't think it's a bad thing. But when are we getting ARMS 2, guys? Come on. Oh, man, and in other news, I feel like it's been a week or so since we've talked about a delay, but Marvel's Midnight Suns got another delay. You know, this is the Firaxis kind of strategy style one with cooler takes on some of the characters. So the launch window is within the 2023 fiscal year. So it's going to be released before March 31st, 2023, but that's all we know. We also know that it's going to be a staggered release with PC and new gen consoles first, and then the later consoles a little bit after that. So that's where we're at now. Curious to see what actually goes down with that. Oh, and it looks like breaking news, Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed. We thought we were going to see it this holiday season, but now, unfortunately, it's going to launch, according to them, February 10th, 2023. The developer said in the announcement, "The team is excited for you to play, but we need a little more time to deliver the best possible game experience." Sure, you guys have already taken a pretty damn long time. Remember when this game first leaked? So, what's a little more time? We don't want a rushed mess, right? And it's interesting too because now people are like, what's next? The holiday season is starting to shrink a little bit with releases. We still got some big stuff like God of War, but this makes me wonder if we're really going to see Callisto Protocol. Is that going to squeeze in at the end of December like they say? Oh, hope so, but we're just going to have to wait and see what else goes down. The last 2 or 3 years at this point now have just been riddled with delays like this. Also, something to look forward to, Jeff Keighley tweeted about a Gamescom opening night live. This is like the big Gamescom live stream event where we get game news. This is going to be August 23rd on Tuesday. We're getting more and more info about what we're going to see, and one specific thing is that the Subnautica developers are showing up to talk about their new game, which I think could potentially be huge, because Subnautica, for a lot of people, was a big deal. So I'm very curious to see what they're cooking up next. It's Subnautica, but instead of the water, it's in jail. No, that's not good. Space. No, the desert. No. The suburbs. No. Post-apocalypse. No. Done. In the 1700s. Steampunk Subnautica. Anime Subnautica. No. That's all I got. Broken brain. Anyway, the last thing we wanted to share, just talking about dumb stuff, is this game being developed by one person. We will link his video in the description down below. This is called Squirrel with a Gun. You're a squirrel, you point a gun at people, and like they drop their shit, like they'll drop their phone, and then you steal their cell phone. That seems like a good game, if you ask me. It's an Unreal Engine 5, too. I just had to share this. This is like your moment of zen for the end of the show. This is too good. But that's what we got going on this week. We're going to get back to working on that before you buy video for Spider-Man. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about all the news going on this week. What do you think about that Sony, Xbox, like conversation stuff with the Brazilian courts, antitrust stuff, non-compete stuff, keeping stuff off of Game Pass? What's the deal with that? Also, of all the things I linked, like, are you playing Cult of the Lamb when that drops? What do you think a new Deus Ex game would really look like? There's a lot to talk about, so hit me up. We'll be down in the comments talking as much as possible, but things get a little crazy, so of course, yell at me directly on Twitter and Instagram and my channel, Jake Baldino. Just Google that. I don't know. But clicking the like button helps. We're always here every Friday. We're never going to stop. We got your back. Just giving you some fun news. Thank you guys for being here. Love doing this, of course. That's it. I'm Jake Baldino. See you guys next time. Pizza's on me. Have a great weekend. For real.